So I'm going to teach you how to encourage egg production through the winter. There are some tips and tricks for that. How to protect your flock from our winter elements. We all know we've got, a span of weeks where we're in single-digit temperatures, right? And that can be a little troublesome. Cold weather feed requirements, winter coop modifications, and light requirements. Do you all have chickens? Anyone not have chickens? Awesome, you're here getting information. I love it. Okay, cool. Well, if you guys want chickens right now, make sure you buy pullets. Those are the teenage chickens, okay? Not the babies. You're going to have to brood them in your bathtub if you really want chicks right now. And it's hard to find them this time of year. Pullets, if you want, that's the teenagers, right? Ready to lay. Don't ever buy a pullet who has a full comb and it's lopped over like this. You know why? It's not a pullet. It's an old hen, okay? So you can find them on Craigslist. I know the folks out in Parma have some, and then I think Dunlap's pretty finished with they're finished with their chicks. You might be able to buy chickens over there as well. Dunlap is the second oldest hatchery in the country, and Canyon County is home to Dunlap Hatchery. Just a little tidbit for you, fun fact. There are 300 recognized breeds of chickens, so the sky's the limit. And I was talking to a guy last night who just loves his chickens. I do consultations where I'll go out and check out what's going on and give him some tips and tricks. And he honestly, they are his pets, and he takes such good care of them. And he said, now I want the cool chickens. I want a Moran that will lay me a dark brown colored egg, the color of a Hershey chocolate bar. That's the shell color. And I want the Easter eggers, the Americanas and the Aracanas, for varied colors. So the sky's the limit when you're going for chickens. Feet, combs, and wattles, those are the things you have to be careful about in the winter time. Let's talk about the combs. The most problematic ones, of course, are the single-combed girls and the buttercup comb. It's just, there's reason there. Because their combs stick up, right? And the blood circulation has to work harder to get to the top. So those are the ones that are most susceptible to frostbite. The girls who have this kind of comb, strawberry comb, rose comb, and a pea comb, those are the real winter hardy chickens. And we're going to go through a few breeds. These are good chickens. These are great backyard chickens, and they're great for wintering, but you have to watch their combs when it gets into single digits. Austerlorp, the Buff Orpingtons, one of the favorite backyard chickens, the Buff Orpington, because they're so docile and friendly. They're great with kids. And the Black Copper Moran. The Moran is the one that lays the dark, chocolate colored egg. And a Barnevelder. Barnevelder lays a dark egg as well. More good hardy, cold hardy chickens. New Hampshire Red and the Rhode Island Red. A lot of you have the Rhode Island Reds. Egg machines, right? That's what they use in the factory farms for the brown eggs, are the Rhode Island Reds. Sex link, and in our neck of the woods, they call them sex links, and that's why, the reason why they call them that is when they hatch out, their feathers are a certain color, so they know, oh, that one's a boy and that one's a girl. They don't have to be sexed. So when you bought your chicks at one point, they said, yeah, these are sexed chicks, and you paid a little more for them. They weren't straight run. When they're sexed, someone has to check under their tail feathers to figure out which, whether they're boy or girl. And so the sex links, their feather color denotes their gender. So they're sex linked. Great name. Gold Star and Black Star is what they're called in other parts of the country. And then the Sussex has a great backyard chicken, is a great backyard chicken. These are better chickens. They're just hardier chickens. They do better in the winter time. Barred Plymouth Rock, Jersey Giant, Welsummer, and Salmon Faverolles. Fun fact about the Salmon Faverolles, you know how most chickens have 3 toes sticking out like this? The Salmon Faverolles has a 4th. Cool stuff, right? And then the Jersey Giant, if any of you have Jersey Giants, anyone? They do sell them around here. Make certain that you lower the roost for a Jersey Giant. She gets so big that it's hard for her to get up to the roost, okay? So instead of like 16 inches, bring it down to about 14 or between 12 and 14 inches so she can get up there. Best cold hardy chickens, Americana and Araucana, the Brahma, the Buckeye, and the Wyandotte. Americana and Araucana because the pea comb, the blood circulation is right there for the pea comb. You're not going to get that frostbite. Brahmas, Buckeyes, and Wyandottes. The Buckeyes, here's a fun fact about the Buckeyes. Do any of you have Buckeyes? Oh my gosh, we need to get some Buckeyes in next year here at D&B. The Buckeye, you know how most chickens will go after bugs, right? Natural pest control. The Buckeyes will go after a mouse before they go after a bug. So they're natural mousers. They kind of honk, and they're great chickens. So that's a great little fun fact. It's a little bright in here, but you can probably see the tips right here? That chicken has suffered from frostbite, and you can see right down there little black marks on her toes. She's also had frozen toes as well. To combat this, in really, really cold climates up north, like Alaska, and I have a girlfriend who lives in Alaska, she says the backyard chicken thing is huge there. But what they have to do to the chickens there, if they're getting single-combed girls, they dub the hens, meaning they cut the comb and the wattles. So that chicken becomes, whoops, that chicken right there. So that's the same hen. You see her little wattle and comb, and then she's been dubbed. So they just cut it, and then they cauterize it, and then they don't have to worry about that at all, right? So if you have frostbite, watch for infection, and you can see it on their combs. Trim the infected parts. Apply Neosporin. Don't use the Neosporin with a pain reliever in it, though. Just plain Neosporin, okay? And the best part about this is that you just want to go back and think about, if we get into single digits, you go out with a jar of Vaseline, petroleum jelly, okay? And do it in the evening when your girls go to roost, because that's when they're docile. And take a little Vaseline and just massage their combs and put it on. What that does is it insulates their combs, because what happens in the coop is they start to get a little bit of humidity going in the coop, and that humidity attaches to the combs and to the wattles, and that's what causes the frostbite. Okay, so don't let your coop get humid at all. I've always said that a coop is better off being well ventilated than well insulated. Hard to explain that to a well-meaning, loving husband who really wants to insulate a coop, because I have one of those. But it needs more ventilation than insulation. So these are perfect toes. That's what you want to see, and you don't want to see this. That's severe frostbite on the feet. So again, down to single temperatures, you want to throw some Vaseline on the feet. It's going to get a little dirty, but that will cover them if it's severe, and the combs and the wattles. But the best thing to do for the feet is this. If you have a coop that only has a little teeny tiny bar right now, or some kind of a dowel, you want to take that out and put in a cheap 2x4. What that does is the girls will jump up on that 2x4 and splay out their toes, woo, like that. And the big girls can move around on it, right? Because there's plenty of room. You orient it on the fore side, so it's nice and flat in a wide area. They splay out their toes, and then when they go to roost, they put their feathers down over their toes, and that keeps them from frostbite. So if you see this, you can see this girl must have had her toes sticking out. That's the same girl. Must have had her toes sticking out just a little bit, so it probably was not a 2x4 that she had.